how, how does Markus Zusak sleep at night by just doing this to us, readers, bookworms, people who read this book? Let's finally talk about The Book Thief. Even though at this point I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want closure. And somehow closure means no communication at all about this book. But because I already openly said in my previous video, to be honest, I'm going to make a separate video just discussing this book. That I would do this separate video for just talking about this book, then no choice. If you don't know what this is about, we follow a young girl named Liesel during 1939 in Nazi Germany, where in the beginning she stumbles upon a book by accident beside her brother's graveyard burial. And ever since, she has found this kind of love with words and books, where her foster father will also teach her to read so that she can further explore her affection towards literature. And so she starts also stealing books wherever books are found. But then by the Second World War, her family, her foster family, hides a Jewish man in their basement. And we just follow this family and this girl through all kinds of events in their lives during the most tragic events of the world, World War II. And yeah, this is what the book is about. But remember that the snippets that I am telling you right now are very tiny descriptions of what takes place in this story, because a lot of things really do happen. So just read it, okay? For a long period of time that this book has been lying on my bookshelf, I have never thought that I would actually love this book as I actually love it right now. I thought it was like, yeah, I heard so much fuss about it because people couldn't stop saying how beautiful it was and etc, etc, etc. And now that I've read it myself, I can 100% understand. Maybe not for everybody, because everybody has their own opinions in regards to the reason why they love a certain book, and maybe my reason is quite the major reason why everybody else likes it. I don't know. We'll talk about that in the spoiler section that will be included in this video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the writing style, because writing style in books is very important for me, because even though the plots or the characters are unlikable or even maybe a bit boring, but the writing style is so engaging and interesting and beautiful and just so easily to grasp, then I can read throughout the book with ease most of the time. Just saying. So what I thought about this writing style was so incredibly unique, because we read the point of view or the narratives by Death, him or herself, which is so creative and imaginative. I also thought that the writing was so very atmospheric and oddly old-fashioned. It seemed like I have been reading a kind of refreshing classic of some sort, even though I've never read a classic before, and I don't know why I just said that, but it just feels like that, okay? I have observed that the writing is a bit gloomy. Well, of course, what do you expect? A narrative from Death. And of course, it's gloomy. You don't expect that it's sugar coatings everywhere. It's gloomy, but comforting. I think just like Death himself. It feels like somebody is really telling you a true story that happened in World War II. And I love that kind of engagement with the writer and the reader. Like, you cannot tell what's real or not real anymore. You just mix up those two worlds and then you just enjoy it, and you just get killed at the end of the book because you realize that it is fiction. Yes, I'm still in recovery, okay? So, get this right. I think the idea of using a metaphor even as a narrator of the story instead of using the first point of view of the young girl Lysel was incredibly great, actually, because we don't need to exactly know what's in the head of every character or one specific character. By using this singular metaphor, death, narrating the story, we get to share all kinds of emotions and observations from every character equally, which is just it's exactly perfect for the story itself. Next is I want to talk about the characters. Let's talk about characters because, of course, characters. I love characters. Fictional characters are the best people on earth, isn't it? Or, oh yeah, they're not real. Lysel. I want to talk about Lysel. Of course, she's the main character of the story. Well, the thing is, we don't know what's going on in her head throughout the book, which I already explained why. We don't know the pain that she experiences in the book that is explained by her own voice. We just observe, just like death is observing her. It does leave a kind of mysterious outline to really know her, but at the same time, you know her. What I also love about her, the first time that I have said I really adored her character was when there was this boy who's bullying her at her school, and she did not make herself look pathetic again by this boy, so she just beat him up completely. I mean, girl power right there. She can endure pain, suffering, terror, and reality in which she lives in. She simply displays the flexibility of a human being in which you can naturally choose the way you handle certain situations of your life. Another character which I adored as well was, of course, Hans Haberman, or should I say, foster father of Lysel. He is such a loving man. I can't imagine a guy ever even existing like him, you know? He's like your typical, respectful, good man you see in movies or something like that. He does the right thing, even though he knows he might get punishment from it. He is just a human being who has a heart and you can't help by just feeling for him, feeling for Lysel. They just feel like real people because that is how a person can be, you know. It doesn't sound unrealistic, or it doesn't feel like they are not fleshed out properly as a character, but they are greatly written, and you just and another character that I would like to discuss is the mayor's wife in the story. You will get to know her eventually, but she's not an incredibly main character though. But I found her very interesting. You don't even get to know a lot about her, though she is very quiet and she has this whole library of books, and I just feel her kindness throughout her interaction with Lysel in the story, and I just really liked her character. Now I want to talk about the plot. The plot is, of course, this is a book more kind of a slice of life, I think, if I'm using the correct term. And you don't, of course, the big plot twist will not happen. If you want that, read a thriller or something. But this is just a story about a family's life during the war. How a young girl endures all of this suffering and all this fear. You just get through that journey together with the greatness of words and books and how it can actually change someone, or how it can uplift someone in the most worst cases of your life, and how it can build relationships. Literature can build relationships that are so life-changing. Even though that this is fiction, I can't help but think that there was at least a family just like this one, who experienced things just like this one. Despite all that I've said, I have been shocked incredibly because of certain things that happen. There were times that I really had to look somewhere else instead of the book because I just couldn't read the next passage. So overall, this was an incredible read for me. I just want to read all the historical fiction that is out there right now, because I never proved that I would like historical fiction, and here I am making a single video just about this book. This also has made me want to seek and conquer reading unique or a little bit difficult writing styles, because my heart tends to yearn for it now. Thank you, Book Thief, for doing this to me. I am not the same person. So, now that I've stopped at the non-spoilery discussion, let's now get to the spoiler discussion. Even though it's just very short, I just want to say this out loud to the world because I need to, so that I can exactly move on. So, spoiler. The ending. They were all freaking killed at the ending. I mean, I felt like I was stabbed in the back, because throughout this 550-page book, we get to know what happens in their lives, get to know them, feel for them, ache for them, root for them, feeling all kinds of complicated things, emotions for them, because they feel so very authentic. And you read the ending and then everything just goes down the drain. They freaking die in their sleep, except Lysel, which is also... The thing is that Lysel is the only one who lives in the story, and her foster family and her friends are all dead. Just somehow makes it even more painful than normally, because she just lost so many people in her lives, and then this huge thing happens. The whole town, the whole street is bombed. How does Markus Zusak sleep at night by just doing this to us, readers, bookworms, people who read this book? How I felt incredibly cheated, painfully cheated, the worst cheat you can ever imagine. I don't think I will even move on from this anymore. Incredibly. And I know that it's supposed to be tragic because it's World War II, Adolf Hitler, Germany, Nazi Germany. But still, you can't help but just want some justice. But I guess the author Markus Zusak, has displayed that there is no justice at all at those times. Which is... But I am very thankful though of the epilogue, where Lysel still got to meet Max, who is alive. Thank freaking goodness. Because if he killed him also, then you don't want to know. And that she has lived a very prosperous life, and Lysel also got to live a long life in general. And I'm just thankful, so fucking thankful, so freaking fucking thankful. And another thing that was incredible for me was that the book that Lysel was like writing in the story was like the book that we're reading ourselves, which for me was like, whoa. I know this is like a small thing, I think, but for me it's like, whoa. Fantastic, okay? I really recommend this book for everybody, despite whatever your age is, whatever you're going through right now. This book deserves to be read. So I hope you like this video. I have enjoyed making this video. I enjoyed sharing all my deep emotions about this book, which is still breaking my little dark heart. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. My name is Sakina Vanessa, and I hope you had another great reading day. No extra. Bye 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 bye.